You see, the WWE is going to try and legalize gambling on scripted match results. That's quite wacky. That's pretty big. Thanks to Prime, Hybrid, and Resublimin. That legitimately sounds like insider trading. Hey. Yeah, how about I just look up if that's real or not? We'll do sports betting. Well, actually, hold on. Let me check up here. Okay. It is a real headline. WWE in talks with state gambling regulators to legalize betting on scripted match results. Vince McMahon, you dirty dog. By God, what the fuck? Thanks, Resub Prodigy and Run. Let's toy around with this for a minute or so. I think there is a 0% chance they let this fly. If they do, that is blatant corruption. You could easily farm the fuck out of betting on WWE matches if you are a participant, a staff member who happens to know the script. Like, you could fucking cheat the system like crazy. Yeah, it's like this. I mean, it legitimately could be money laundering here. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. There's a Billion Heart. And the 2 give subs Helios. Ain't no way this is gonna go through. I can't. Who's this goofball? I can't imagine this would go through. There's just no way. What is it? WWE is working with the accounting firm EY to secure scripted match results in hopes it will convince regulators there's no chance of results leaking to the public, said the people who asked not to be named because the discussions are private. Either way, you fucking dumb demon. What do you mean? People will know the results. They're scripted matches. People know the results going into it. Those people could just bet or tell their friends to bet on their behalf. Just tell them. It doesn't have to leak to the full-blown public, but just the people on the inside could absolutely just bet on it themselves. There's no way this actually works. WWE executives have cited Oscar betting as a template to convince regulators gambling on scripted matches is safe. Do people bet on the Oscars? That's actually news to me. I didn't know there was like sports betting for the Oscars. That's a fucking stupid thing too. But less people know the results of the Oscars than they do a wrestling match. There's a lot more people in the know on the wrestling match. Filthy rich people trying to find more ways to scam idiots. And I guess it's kind of worked to a certain extent. You already know whoever is on the committee for the Oscar nominees and winners, they are betting. If that is like a common thing, which I've never even heard of, they're absolutely placing bets because they know who wins. It's free money. It is literally free money. You could bet $1 million. You know the result. There's no risk. Even if it's like you get 10K in return if you bet $1 million, it's free 10K. Thanks, the resub Zappy. I'd be so pissed if I bet money on Chainsaw and that motherfucker Nasdaq showed up out of nowhere. I was as surprised as you were, brother. He was supposed to be locked in Guantanamo. That man's a menace. I don't know how he got out. There still needs to be a thorough investigation conducted on how Nasdaq escaped. If WWE succeeds in its bid to legalize gambling on matches, it could open the door for legalized betting on other guarded, secret, scripted events, such as future character deaths in TV series. Who is betting on this shit? Is this a common thing? Like, I understand, like, dorm room bets with your roommates. Like, hey, I bet this character is gonna die in Game of Thrones or something, right? Like, I get that. Is this, like, a common thing for fucking, like, at stake.com, you can bet on a character death in a TV show? Is that something they're considering? There's just no way. I don't envision a world where that would ever be common. Oh man, I didn't even think about this. This next paragraph makes an interesting point. If the gambling is allowed, that's going to change wrestling forever. The WWE's not going to give a... They're going to care even fucking less about the storylines. It's all going to be about what's going to produce the best possible odds in betting so they can cash in on it. Things a bit lucky. The resub bias. No way this will actually happen. I just can't imagine. I really can't. I don't think it will. But what an absolutely wild notion even put forward. Whew. What a big stinker of an idea. Thanks, Resub G-Disc. That's different though, Nesh. That's not like an actual company doing that though. That's just a group of like friends, which is, again, I said I'm not surprised that exists. You can bet on anything with your boys. Here's an example of an actual bet placed. The Welshman, a man of modest means, placed an accumulator bet which included bets on Cliff Richard being knighted before the turn of the millennium, you two staying together past the turn of the millennium, and both EastEnders and Neighbours remaining part of the BBC programming schedule until at least the year 2000 at a 6,479 to 1 ratio. He won 200K. With what? With what? Can you just place a bet on like actual random nonsense? Like, is there facilities for that I don't know about? Because I was still under the impression that you could bet on anything in regards to like sports and all that. I get that. But this is literal nonsense. Could I bet that Ed and Eddie's going to have a soft reboot in the next 5 years? And who would pay me out? Who am I betting against? Thanks to Tier 1 Autumn. The casino or whatever. I don't think it's a casino, man. What kind of casino is going to be betting on whether or not these two programs remain on the BBC until the year 2000? There has to be some other service or something. Believe it or not, you can actually bet on UFOs and when humans will discover alien life outside of Earth. So can I just make up my own criteria of bets? Like, I bet $50,000 Godslap issue 4 will be out within the next 3 months or whatever. And then is someone going to take that bet even though I know the answer? That's insider trading. How do you prove it, though? This is like literal nonsense. The example he gave is these two programs will probably run until at least the year 2000. Like, what the fuck? Thanks to the gift sub, Poofy. That's mind-boggling. I didn't know it was like... I didn't know they had such, like, crazy novelty bets. I thought the novelty bets only existed within the sports context. So you can bet on shit like, I bet there's a safety that happens in the first quarter. Like that kind of shit. Then you get some crazy odds. But I didn't know you could just do it over actual nonsense. Hey, appreciate it, Death Metal. Hope you enjoy it. Means you can offer any bet to a bet house in Ireland and they can accept it or not. Well, I just don't see why they ever would. It's actual nonsensical shit. Things are resub poggies. To make money? Okay, obviously the goal would be to make money, but if it's completely nonsensical shit, the odds of making money are super low. Again, I could take something to them that I'm well versed in and already know the outcome of and bet on it. and they would have no way of proving that. For example, the guy who won 200K off betting that 2 programs would remain on BBC, who's to say he didn't know a couple of the actors who had contracts that extended past 2000? You can't prove it. Like, it's like, why would you ever accept that kind of bet? It's nonsense. It's actual fucking nonsense. I can't wrap my head around it. I really can't. That is bafflingly stupid. Thanks for the resub, Pandemonium. Maybe I'm just giving too much credit to the bookies or whatever, but I don't see why anyone would ever accept a complete nonsensical dog shit bet like that. How do they calculate the odds for such bets? Oh, I have no fucking clue. That, I have no idea. I don't know how they even would begin calculating those odds. Just pull them out of their ass, I guess.